Okay, also, in addition to, for the camp stuff, you got to have some camp shoes because you don't want to be tromping around in motocross boots, right? So the ones that I've used just forever and ever on the fire are just a pair of Reef flip-flops. Not a big flip-flop guy, but they serve a purpose. They help, your feet can be hot and dry at the end of the day, and it's really nice to get your feet into some open air, and to just be kind of flopping around in camp with some flip-flops is nice, especially if you need to use a public shower at a truck stop or anything like that, where might be some dirty people. You know, you don't want to pick up some foot fungus, so you want to have some flip-flops. They work. Tevas, Chacos, whatever you want. Those things are a little heavy, but it's okay. Whatever you want. And then the final is going to be as we call in our family, a puffer jacket. This is just a Patagonia medium weight down jacket. And these are uber warm, and you can squish them down and pack them down into almost nothing. And again, when you're riding, you can put this on and it's going to stay warm. You got to think about covering all bases. So our clothing, if we put that all together on our scale, is going to come in at, whoops, something fell off. What was it? Oh, good grief. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. We get an accurate weight there? Okay, we'll pull that off. So that consists of all of the clothing. Not much, but enough. It actually works really good. Now, this is maybe some people might consider this to be a luxury. This is a microfiber towel. These things are really amazing too. So on the wildland fires, they give you, it's kind of funny, they bring in these big trailers and they have these shower trailers. And they have like this giant box, and they pull out these huge, they're like shop towels, but they're big for towels. And those are fine, but they're just one use. And if you need to carry a lot of them, they're bulky. So these microfiber towels are really good because they dry off really quickly. You can dry yourself off when you go splashing around, you take a bird bath in the creek. To have this to be able to dry off and to clean off is nice. You don't want to get in and get your clothing wet, your camp clothing wet. So maybe a bit of a luxury item. This is on the larger size. You can get these in 3 different sizes, I believe. The tiny one is like maybe a 2x2, and this is like maybe a 3x4 or something. So I got the medium one. It seems to work fine. But these microfiber towels are really good, and you can wring them out. So that's pretty good, and they're pretty light. This might be a luxury. I don't think it's a luxury item. I think it's a necessary thing. It could be a blanket, right, if you got into trouble. So that's the weight of the microfiber towel. All right, we got one more thing in here. Oh, nope. So this here is going to be the cooking and the food. Now, on this trip, I'm planning it in a way that each day, each leg of the 5 different legs, if we end up doing it in 5, is going to end at a place where there'll be food and gas and lodging if you wanted to stay somewhere. So food is not a big issue. So what I'm carrying in here is I basically have 1 day's food, freeze-dried, that could be expanded to 2 days pretty easily. So I don't know that I don't think I wanted to add the weight of the food because I think the food is kind of a separate thing. So I'm actually going to take the food out. I will share with you what it is. So I'm going to carry, I like beef jerky just for snacking along as I go. It's easy, and it doesn't really matter if it gets dirty. I just pour it I got kind of a pouch thing. I just pour it in there and just kind of munch on it through the day. The Costco beef jerky. I'll have one of those, and 3 freeze-dried meals. I like the Mountain House meals, and I usually get the same ones because these are my favorite. I'll get 1 breakfast. Their breakfasts are pretty good. This is a freeze-dried raspberry crumble. So those are actually pretty delicious. It's kind of like an oatmeal with blueberries in it. And then I like the chili mac with beef right there. And I get the Pro Pack. The Pro Pack, they suck all the air out of them, so you can pack them much smaller. And they will say that these feed 2, maybe 2 gnomes, but for a big man, that's 1 meal. I don't want to have to share that with anyone unless I have to. So there's 1 meal, the chili mac with beef, and I actually like the beef stroganoff. These are not the healthiest meals. They're a little salty, but they are so easy to pack. It's easy to plan when you know you're going to be gone 5 days. When you get used to these meals and you know what you're going to eat, you can like right there. It says 4 servings. There's not 4 servings in there. There's 1 serving in there for me. So I'm going to put that aside. We're not going to weigh that. I think that that's a separate deal. But I'm going to have a cooking kit. So with your dehydrated meals, they're very, very simple. All you need to do is you need to boil water at 12 ounces or whatever it is. Boil the water, you pour it into the bag, and you seal it, and then let it kind of steep for a little while, and then you eat it. So this is it for the cooking kit. Because those bags are deep, I have a long spoon, a plastic lightweight spoon, so you can get down in the bottom and get those. So I carry the spoon. I carry a Peak. These are made in Japan, a Peak titanium cup. So this is a full titanium cup. It weighs almost nothing. Titanium always shocks me how lightweight it is. Problem with this is when you make your coffee, it's when you heat it, the whole thing gets really hot. It's a good conductor of heat. So they come with a little silicone, a little mouth shield there, which I can't believe I haven't lost. I've lost it so many times and found it so that when you're having your coffee, you don't burn your lips off. Trust me, you can do that, I know. So this is what I boil my water in. Modern camp stoves are pretty amazing. This is a little Primus. I have Primus and MSRs, and I prefer this one, but the stove, that's it right there, guys. It all folds up into this tiny little bag. When you want to use it, you just bring these little arms out right there. You can see that. It screws onto the gas bottle, so that screws on there. And I can easily cook all those meals on this one bottle right there. And it's very, very lightweight, very simple. And the thing I like about this little Primus is it's got its own igniter. So it's got a push button igniter. It lights it up. It works great. I've used this I've been the envy of guys on fires because I had this little kit in there, and sometimes we wouldn't get back for chow, and you're out all night, and next morning, and I always carry coffee. I carry these little Starbucks Vias because they're like a powdered coffee, and I'll use 2 of them because I like strong coffee, and you pour those in there, and I'll have like fresh, steaming hot, like my cup of Joe, and they're just green with envy. Like, well, why didn't you think about that? But of course, I take extra, so I can surprise them and give them a cup too. I carry a little ultralight Bic lighter in there in case I have a problem with the igniter because it just doesn't weigh very much, right? Very, very simple. So let's throw this on the scale and see what the stove comes up to. I'll include the coffee in there. Why not, right? In the titanium cup. All right, and there's our stove on our official COSC certified scale. Not really. I think COSC certifies time, not weight. But I don't know. I'm not from Switzerland. Okay, this is the final bag, and in here is my sleeping bag. Now, the best sleeping bags, in my opinion, currently, are probably being made, or the most innovative by Big Agnes. And I personally cannot stand mummy bags because for some reason, I have to have my feet out. If my feet get hot, I can't sleep. So what this particular bag, it's called the something Park City or something Park. And what's cool about it is it's a 40-degree bag. I mean, it's rated down to 40 degrees, but there's no bottom in it. And I like that because what causes insulation, whether it be in your wall or a coat or anything, is the loft. That means the puffiness. If you take insulation and you compress it, it basically loses all its insulating value. So if you have a sleeping bag that's all full of synthetics, or it's all full of feathers, whatever you get, and you're laying on it, you're crushing it, you're not getting any R value there. You're not really getting any insulation. So what Big Agnes has done is they've taken and just put a sleeve in the sleeping bag. And I'm not going to take it out because it's a pain to get back in. This is a compression sack. So this is actually a very big sleeping bag because I don't like the mummy bags. I want a wide sleeping bag that I can roll around in because I roll around and I move at night, and it's got dual zippers on the side so you can put your feet out. And it doesn't taper down to that point. So it just gives you room. If you're a big guy, if you're barrel-chested or have broad shoulders, like myself, those mummy bags, they're made for girls and little soy boys. They're just not made for men. This sleeping bag is a good one. It's made for good-sized man, and I like it. But the bottom of it has a pocket in it that receives the best part, which is a thermarest. A thermarest They've come a long ways back from back in the day. The old ones were pretty uncomfortable. These new ones from Big Agnes, this is the best one ever. This is the insulated Q-Core SI. Look at that, how small it is. This is a full-size thermarest. So what happens is that you blow this thing up, right? And it's thick. It's quilted and thick like a sleeping bag, not those little skinny ones, those little stupid ones that are uncomfortable to sleep on that the rock jabs you all night. This thing is thick. I've thrown this thing down on scree field, and you can sleep on it. You don't even feel anything. But the kicker is it's got a high insulation value. So what you do is you blow this thing up, right? And you slide it into the sleeve on the bottom of the sleeping bag in the Big Agnes, and there you have an awesome system. You have a sleeping bag that is on top of a thermarest that you can't fall off of. Because this material is slippery, right? And if you move in the night, like I do, then you wake up and you're off your thermarest and you're laying on the cold, hard ground and you're thinking to yourself, I'm never going camping again. This is the worst day of my life, right? We've had that experience. Not so with these sleeping bags. They give you room. The thermarest slides into the pocket, so it can't go anywhere. It's always with you. It's always there, and they're awesome. And the insulating value, so you sleep really, really warm. I'll tell you what. If I had to go back to the old ways, to the old thermarest and the old crummy sleeping bags, I probably wouldn't be taking this trip, and I would give up camping because, well, to be honest with you, I don't have to do that anymore, and I've gotten softer, and I want some comforts, right? So that's the pillow and the thermarest and the sleeping bag. So that is that combo, and that comes into right there. I'm at a disadvantage because I don't know what is the weight. What did we come into, or what did we come in at? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out when I do the edit. So that is basically the kit. Now we're probably out of time because I went on and on. I'll put this back together, and then in another video, if you're interested, I'll show you the panniers and how these all mount up on the bike. My bike is all torn up right now, so I don't have, I can't do it anyway, but we're out of time. Anyway, that's what I came up with. If you have any suggestions of something I may have forgotten, or that might be a better way to do this, if you have experience, let me know. But I think I have everything pretty much covered. I mean, it's very minimalistic. There's not a lot of comforts in there. It's just the basic stuff to get the job done. But for me, I don't think it should be a problem. Now, there's medical stuff, the first aid kits, trauma, that sort of thing, medicines. That's in my emergency kit on my dirt bike, my backpack. So that's why that's not in here, because I don't want to make it redundant. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the thumbs up. I'll be interested to hear your comments, and I'll be interested to see what the weight comes up to.